This is another SudokuPrimer video. Go to SudokuPrimer.com for more techniques. In this video we're going to discuss a couple of things. One is loner cells and the other is identical twins, and I'll explain both of those concepts in just a minute. This is puzzle number 64. It's a medium puzzle, so it's fairly easy. I chose this one so that I can kind of focus on those two concepts, identical twins and loner cells. This is from Sudoku To Go, volume 88 by Soap Opera Digest. First of all, let me explain what a loner cell is. A loner cell is an empty cell in a square that is the only empty cell outside of a row or a column. This right here is a loner cell. It's the only empty cell outside of this column right here. This is also a loner cell because this puzzle is symmetrical. It's the only cell outside of this column that's empty in this square. Okay, and when you find a loner cell like that, you can look in this column right here, in this example, and then you can see if you can find the number. When you look for loner cells, or when you look at loner cells, you look at every populated cell in the given column or row, like in this case this one, that's outside this square, and if you find a number that's not already in this square, you know that that number fits right here in the loner cell. So we've got a 2 here, but we've already got a 2. We've got a 3 here, and there's no 3 in here, and so that 3 will fit in there. You can also see that these are the only other empty cells in this square, so that 3 has to fit there. Okay. Let's look at this one over here. We've got a 5 here. We've already got a 5 in this square, but we don't have a 4 in this square. So that's a 4. Now those are two examples of loner cells, but sometimes you'll get a lot more numbers in the container that's outside that, where that loner cell is. And I hope as I go along doing this puzzle that I'll find some more loner cells, and I'm hoping to find some identical twins also. So let me just go through the sections. 1, 1, 1. I'll just fill in some numbers here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'll fill in some numbers that I can see, so that we can populate this puzzle. And if I see any loner cells or identical twins, I'll stop and kind of point them out. Okay, we've got a 2 and a 2 here, and a 2 and a 2 here, so that's a 2. Okay. 2, 2, 2, and there's a 2 there. And a 2 here and a 2 here. 2 and 2, so that's a 2 right there. 3s, 3, 3, 3, and there's a 3 there, so it's a 3, 3, 3, 3, that's a 3 right there, and 3, 3, 3, one of these is a 3, 3, 3, 3, that's a 3 right there, 3, 3, 3, so one of these is a 3, one of these is a 3. Okay, 4s, 4, okay, 4, 4, 4, so one of these is a 4, 4, 4, 4. So we've got 4 here, a 4 here. One of these is a 4, so these are ghost 4s here. And so one of these 3 has to be a 4 because we've got a 4 there and ghost 4s there. Got a 4 there and a 4 there, so that's a 4. 4, 4, 4, 4. So one of these and one of these is a 4. 5s. 5. 5. 5. There's a 5 right there. One of these is a 5. 5. 5. 5. Okay, that's a 5 right there. 5's there. Okay, 6's. Okay, we've got a 6 right here because there's no 6's here yet, and we've got a double wall, so we know, and there's a 6 there. So one of these is a 6, so that can't be a 6. These can't be 6's, or a 6. Okay, so we've got 6 there already. 6. Any of those can be a 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. And 6. 6. Okay, 7's. 7 there. 7 there. So one of these is a 7. 7. 7. 7. 7, 7. Okay, that's a 7 there. We've got a 7 there. We've got ghost 7's there, so that's got to be a 7. Okay, 7, 7, 7. 8's. Okay, no 8's here, so any of those is an 8. 8, 8, 8. Okay, 8, 8, 8. Okay, so we got 8 here, 8, so well, I'll do that in a minute. Got 8 and 8 there, so that's an 8. Got 8 here and 8 here, so one of these is an 8. 8, 8, 8. Okay. Got ghost 8's here and an 8 here. 8 there, so one of these is an 8. One of these is an 8. Okay, 9's. 9. Any of those can be a 9. Any of those can be a 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. Don't have many 9's in there yet. Okay. Well, let's see if we can see any loner cells right now. Actually, we've got in here we've got a loner cell, and that is, this is the only cell outside of this row in this square that isn't populated. So if we have an let's see, we've got 8, 5, and 3 there. 8, 5, 3. So one of these other numbers is the same number as that, but we don't know yet. There's too many. Okay, this is also a loner cell right here. I mean this one right here, and so one of these has to be that number because these are all populated already. And I know you can just look at this row and solve for this number right here, and then you'll know that number. But I'm illustrating a loner cell right here. So let's see, look, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 5, 7, 6, 8, 7, 6, 8. So there's no 6 in here yet, so we know that's a 6. And then I'll fill in the 1. And again, I know I could have just solved the rest of this row by filling in this 1, then I'd have known that's a 6. Okay, now let's look at this loner cell right here against this row. Got a 4, 2, 6, 8. We got a 4, 2, 6, 8. So we still don't know what that number is. It's one of these two. Let's look at this as a loner cell and look at this row. 7, 5, 8, 7, 5, 8, 3, 1. 3, there's no 1 yet, so we know that's a 1. Okay, and therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's a 9. Okay, now we've got a loner cell here, and this is a potential identical twin because we've got only one cell outside of this, in this column that's outside of this square. So here's the loner cell. We're looking at this column right here, and there's only one cell that's not populated outside of this square in this column. So let's see, 1, 8, 3, 1, 8, 3, and 2, 5, 2, 5. Okay, so we have an identical twin situation here. This number has to be the same as this number right here. Let's look at that one more time. Okay, we've got a loner cell here, and that is, we've got, this is the only cell that's in this square that's outside of this row, or I mean in this column. Okay, and we've already got a 1, 8, and 3 in there. 1, 8, 3. We've also got 2 and 5 in there. So whatever number this is, it has to be this number. Okay. Now let's see if we can solve that number. And this is kind of a simple example. There are times when you'll be in a more difficult puzzle and you'll find this identical twin situation, and you'll actually be able to find these two numbers. Let's see what numbers can fit in here. There's only 3 numbers that can fit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, and 9 are the only numbers that can fit in here. Okay. Now here's a 6. So we know that has to be a 7 or a 9. Okay. We don't see 7 or 9 here. We see a 6 here, so this is a 7 or a 9. Okay. Now let's look at this number here. Probably not surprising, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, and 9 are also missing in this column. So you got a 6, 7, 9 missing here and a 6, 7, 9 missing here. Okay, let's see if we can see what is missing in this square, in this cell right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We don't have a 6, 7, or 9 in here or in this row, so we can't really narrow it down anymore. But because we have a 6 here, we know these are identical twins. We know that this has to be a 7 or a 9, and therefore this has to be a 7 or 9. Another thing that we can tell, sometimes you can narrow it down to one number on these identical twins, and then you can fill that number in. Okay, right now we've got a 6, 7, 9 here, we've got a 6 here, and so it can't fit in either of these two places, so it has to go there. Okay, now the only thing we don't know is which one of these is a 7, and which one of these is a 7, and which one of these is a 9, and which one of these is a 9. Okay, but that's the concept of identical twins. You see there. Okay, let's look at this column right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 is missing here too. So we know this can't be a 6. Oh, we've already narrowed that down. So one of these has to be a 6. But we don't know which one yet. Okay. Well, let's continue on. We filled in a few numbers, so let's go through the sections one more time. I'll go a little faster this time. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, there's a 1. Okay, so that's a 1. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Okay, 2s. Do we have all our 2's? Yeah, we have all our 2's. 3, 3, 3, 3. Don't know those 3's yet. 4's. So 4, 4, 4. 4, 4, 4. 4, 4, 4. Okay. 5's. 5, 5, 5. 5. Okay. Let's see. We've got 5's here. So one of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 5. So I know that this is a 5 right here. That's a little bit different. It's a little bit more complex technique, but one of these has to be a 5 and one of these has to be a 5. So if this is a 5, this is a 5. If this is a 5, this is a 5. So we know that these two columns already have 5's in them. That's what we call double row elimination. And therefore this can't be a 5, so that's how I knew that was a 5 right there. Okay, let's go to 6's. 6, 6. Okay, one of these two is a 6, because these can't be a 6, so we got go 6's here, 6. So one of these is a 6. We know one of these is a 6 because for two reasons. One, we know this is a 7 or a 9 because they're identical twins, and we narrowed that down. We also see there's a 6 here, so one of these has to be a 6. So we got 6, go 6's, 6. So one of these has to be a 6 right here. Okay. Let's see, do we have twins there? I don't see any twins. Okay. So let's go 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, can't narrow those down anymore. We got 7, 7, so there's a 7. Okay. Let's look at this right here because we've got a loner cell right here, and let's just look at that. Just go through the numbers: 7, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 9, 2, 5. There's no 9 in there yet. There's a 2 and a 5, so we know that's a 9. Now with loner cells, there's other ways to find what number fits there, but using that concept of loner cells and just looking through these numbers is a pretty quick way to find out what number is missing there. Okay, now we've only got 2 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 6 and 8, there's an 8 there. 6 and 8. Alright. We've got 8, 8, 8. There's an 8 there. We also remember one of these was a 6 because one of these was a 6 and one of these was a 6. So one of these had to be a 6. So that's a 6 right there. Okay. And therefore we also know this is a 6 right there. So now we've got 7 9's here, 7 9's here, and 7 9's here. And these two are identical twins, and these two happen to be identical twins also. Alright, let's see if we can solve those. Okay, we've got 7 9's here also. So we got a 7, 7. Okay, that's a 7 right there. Okay, because we have a 7 there and a 7 there. So we've solved these 7 9's. 9. And this is a 9 also because it's an identical twin, and that's a 7. Okay. Identical twins can be pretty powerful. They're a little bit more difficult to find in harder puzzles. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, we're only missing 1, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a 9. Okay, now we're moving along pretty nicely on this one. So 4 and 5 are missing here. There's a 5 there. 4 and 5. We probably could have solved this puzzle pretty easily without using loner cells and identical twins, but I wanted to illustrate those two concepts for you. Okay, let's look at this row right here. 1, 3, 6, 9. 1, 3, 6, 9. There's a 1, 3, and 9, so that's a 6. What's left? 1, 3, and 9. 3 and 9 here. There's a 1. Looks like we have a 3 and a 9 here. Let's finish this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's an 8. So these are 3 and 9 here. Okay. Let's look at this right here. The rest of this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 6, and 7 are missing. There's a 6 and there's a 7, so that's a 1. So we have 6 and 7 left. There's a 7, so that's a 6 and 7. Okay. Now we've got 3 and 9 here. Again, another identical twin situation right here and right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 and 9 are missing here, 3 and 9 here. There's a 9 right there. So 3, 9, 3. Anytime you have only two numbers in a row and in another column or an adjoining container, you have an identical twin situation. So sometimes that helps you find a number. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to look at this column right here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 6. And we've only got 4 numbers left. I'll just solve them here. Look at this column. 4. 4 and 9. There's a 9 there. And so we're missing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a 1, so that's an 8 and a 1. So, okay, so again, let me reiterate. I could have probably solved this medium puzzle pretty easily without finding identical twins and loner cells, but I wanted to illustrate those two concepts for you. So I did it a little differently. Thanks for watching, and hopefully volume 101 is going to be out pretty soon, and when it is, of Sudoku to Go. When it is, I will solve an easy, medium, hard, and diabolical puzzle from that new volume. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.